Welcome back, everyone. I'm hoping you had great discussions. Oh, yes, I see Christina's on. We had some really good chats in our group too. So Christina, handing it over to you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Yes, so I was in the group with Shanique, and yes, we had a great chat. And I really enjoyed the discussion there, particularly because at the end of it, we had some, I would say, some smart activities or some proposed smart activities that I feel were very relevant to the space. And I think could actually be implemented if the participants decide to take them up. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that may go, hint, hint, Shanique, and hinting to the participants who are in that particular group. Just to note that JUTS here is a partner on anything to do with schools. So if it's an initiative that you have that's Jamaica based, that has to do with schools, and you're thinking, I'm not so sure if I'll have the support, you could always reach out to me and we can see what we can work on. So that's just a little pointer right there. But yes, Daniel, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you though, like what was the experience like in your group, and anybody else would love to share via chat. We'd love to know what the experience was like.
Yeah, so we had a really good chat, a lot about the need for, I think, all of us to do a little mind shift. And so I can't describe the hashtags as well as Sharika can. So
Right.
Sharika, I wonder if you could come on and just share two of the main ideas, hashtags that we're hoping to maybe use moving forward in our advocacy.
So I don't know if it's a hashtag, but something we were thinking, all right, or hashtag main character energy. The idea behind it is that you have to be strong, you have to eat well in order to be the main character. Like, how are you gonna be the main character of your life without being strong enough, fit enough, healthy enough to do so? And then the next thing was that living a soft life means eating well, and it means taking care of yourself, it means nourishing yourself. And how are we going to continue living a soft life if we're not even figuring out how we can eat well and how we can take care of ourselves? So yeah, I think that was our idea around shifting the mindset that we have when it comes to these things, that it's for everyone. And this is Shanique is calling us health influencers. That this is how you can
That's exactly what we need.
What you already want to do, you want to be the main character, well, this is also how you can do that.
I really love that. I'm going to use that right today. I am going to be using that. So soft life and main character energy. And I really like that particularly because those are two trending taglines that we're using right now in the social media space. So I can actually see persons jumping onto that. Soft life. Self-care was another thing. Everybody's talking about, we need self-care. And as you said, main character energy. Any other comments coming from the groups?
I guess I can go. So I was with group 2, and basically I mean, a bulk of us were already like advocates and everything, but we had two good new advocates. I'm going to call them that. So Garrett and Shamar. And basically what they were able to identify, seeing that it's a relevant and timely topic around the whole school nutrition policy development here in Jamaica. So basically kind of capitalizing on that to, their smart activities was like, to implement like a school breakfast program in at least 3 primary schools, especially in vulnerable areas, and increase the access of fresh fruits and vegetables, within the schools through local farming programs, and through, the engagement, the activities or the methods, like engaging with groups like the Jamaica producers, seeing that they're readily available to provide like bananas and pineapples, the coconut industry board, targeting the Ministry of Agriculture, Health and Wellness and Education, seeing that all 3 will have a critical role in this, RADA, which falls under the Ministry of Agriculture, and as well as engaging with the local schools and, the administrators, parent groups, with this. And as well, I think nutrition products, they would have to be incorporated, in the conversation, seeing that they already have, I guess, the contract, or they've been, involved in providing meals within schools, especially for vulnerable populations. So, through the traditional media and different avenues, but what was good is that they identified that seeing that there are so many of us as civil society organizations or advocates that are already engaged in this. So kind of like, engage with us as existing groups or other organizations that are already working with key stakeholders to help advance these objectives. So that was one good thing, they were able to, instead of like on their own to start this. I mean, from a youth perspective, giving their youth voice, they might be good, but if they could just chime in on the action, right? One thing came up was a whole, use of research from, evidence from other countries to help, push the voice on how, they improve school food environments through similar objectives, and so forth. And then there were a few indicators, that were mentioned, in like, when the analysis between, the personal health of like the students at the end of, the interval or the period, which would be December, and, so the healthy behaviors and the health, kind of, so we'd have like some sort of evaluation there to see how well they've met the objectives, as well as working closely with the ministries and the school administrators to see how best that these, objectives are being met, or the specific activities under these are, being adhered to. So that's it.
Oh, Christina, you're on mute.
Apologies. I was asking Shanique if she had anything to add.
No,
okay.
yeah, no, I definitely don't think I do. But I think Christina kind of summed up what went down in my group. One of the things I was saying to one of our members, Barian, was that definitely some very good ideas that she had about what she wants to see around the activity, and even indicating my own willingness to support her and her wider team, because she's part of U10s. If it is that they really want to sit down and go through some of the finer details and pull together a proper advocacy plan around what they want to achieve. So just reiterating that we're here to support in any way that we are able to, because we really want to see meaningful work being done in the different environments.
Okay, thank you. And I love how we're hinting at or making reference to the resources that we mentioned before, which, just to reiterate, is the scorecard, the advocacy toolkit, and the rights-based agenda that will be coming up soon. So I want to hear just a little bit from the attendees themselves, whether what the experience was like in the group itself that we just had, or just overall for today. What was your experience like, or well, is, because it's still happening. What is your experience like today, particularly on the topics that we'd have discussed? So I would love to have you open up your microphones, but if you're a little shy, feel free to note it in the chat. But ideally, I'd love for you to open up your microphones. Who is willing to go? We don't want to be like school where, we call on persons, so who is willing to go?
Hello, I am Jarrett. I was a bit late, but I came in just in time to basically get a full understanding of what the workshop is all about. And I think it's pretty interesting what we as young persons are doing, where we're trying to get advocacy with where nutrition is a concern. So I am happy to be a part or try to assist in any way as best as possible. So it has been great so far, and I was able to chime in a bit to give my feedback, or give my not feedback, but give my 2 cents in basically where a smart activity is concerned. Yeah.
Awesome, happy to hear that. Anyone else would love to share? Whether it was your experience in the breakout room, or just overall experience today, or even just the overall workshop for the past 2 sessions, last week Saturday included. Because we're winding down and we just want to have your feedback. I want you to share, because this space is about youth engagement, all of us having a conversation. So Love for you to open up your microphones at this time or in the chat. And while you're doing that, also go on Twitter or Instagram and just tweet a little bit about what you learned today. I mean, we just heard that it was a very informative session. So we'd love to see some of that on social media. You know, share it with your colleagues, with your peers, because I'm sure they also want to know some of the things that we learned today. So on Twitter, Instagram, I don't use TikTok. I don't know what the space is like over there, but wherever you feel comfortable with, please share about the workshop. Anyone else? Just before we finish this section rather. Anyone else would love to share with us?